Hi, I'm Mike Griffin, and today I want to talk to you about the GE Profile Opal Nugget Ice Maker. Now, I've always been guilty of chewing ice, big ice chewer here, and all the dentists, of course, are very much against that, and they tell you shouldn't do it. But one of my dentists told me, hey, if you got to do it with soft ice, and the best one I've seen out there is made by GE. So I went out and took a look and found the GE Ice Maker. Now, there are a lot of different ice makers out there, but this is probably top of the line. It's really nice. It makes the kind of softer ice that you want at home, and it really does the job because you can put it anywhere because it doesn't need a connection to your water supply. Now, this unit came in the mail. I mean, obviously, I ordered it from Amazon, and I was surprised. It was like 47 pounds, so it's heavy. But once you put it down, you're not exactly moving it a lot, so that wasn't a problem. Dimensions-wise, it's a little over 15 inches by a little over 14 by a little over 17. So it's not that big, but it's bigger than a lot of appliances you might have in your kitchen. Now, the ice maker, like I say, it makes really good soft nugget ice. And the type of ice it makes is the kind that will replenish because or the type of ice it makes, of course, is just the soft nugget ice, but it replenishes continually because it doesn't have that water supply and it doesn't have a freezer unit inside of the bin. So what that means is that it's going to constantly recycle that water when it melts, and if it needs more, it gets it out of the reservoir. Now, the reservoir is something that you can fill up about every 2 or 3 days. I fill mine up about every 3 days. Really easy. I'm going to show you how in a minute. But the unit itself, again, plugs into 120 volt standard outlet, so you can plug it in anywhere. Doesn't need the water line. Makes about 3 pounds of ice to fill this bin. It'll hold about 3 pounds. It makes 24 pounds a day. And it'll make its first batch of ice in about 20 minutes. So that's pretty good. Now, there's also an app you can get. I don't like the app because I don't like to schedule my ice making. And you can do that. You can set it all up. And then you can go out like a coffee maker and you can say, hey, start my ice in an hour or whatever you like to do. I leave it on. I leave it on 24/7, and it's always full of ice for me. So I like that a lot. When you receive it, it comes in, it's already pre-assembled really. You get the ice maker, you get the ice bin, you get a drip tray, and you also get a scoop. And then of course there is the reservoir that holds the water. When you first set it up, all you have to do is go to the back of the unit, and there are 2 drain lines. Those drain lines obviously are used to drain water when needed for cleaning and whatnot. But one of the drain lines plugs into the reservoir. And actually it allows water to drain, if you will, from the reservoir into the main unit. So that way you don't ever have to worry about having to monitor this thing except for knowing when to fill the reservoir up. On the front is a white button, LED light, that you can press to get it started, and it also changes colors depending on whether you're cleaning or whether it's making ice or whether it's idle or whatever. It's kind of a status thing too. I like the bin because the bin tilts out. When you get the ice, you tilt it out and you scoop your ice out with the scoop, and then you just push it back in. Very easy to use and pretty easy to clean too. If you want to clean it, it's about every so many months or whenever you want. You run a little bit of a mixture of bleach and or vinegar, I guess, and water through it in a cleaning cycle, and it will clean and rinse and do all that stuff by your water supply that you put in there. Then you're all done, and you go ahead about your business of more months of using it. Of course, the type of water you have and the harder it is might help you know when you're going to have to clean it. Obviously, because I said it's 120, there are no batteries. So this thing sits on your kitchen counter. If you move around, like if you're in an RV, this could be a really good solution for you to have the kind of ice you want. I'm sure your guest will love it. But I want to tell you honestly a couple of things that are not attractive about it. We always want to talk about the wonderful pros, but there's also a couple of cons. One of the cons is price. This isn't cheap. You better love your ice because this thing's about $550. But I look at it this way. Something you use every day and use a lot, if you take all the time you use it and divide it into that price, you got a pretty good deal. It's almost like a TV. You use them for years. You can use them for years. So it's almost for me like whatever you spend for a TV, depending on how much you watch, it's worth it. But so the price is one thing. The other is when the motor starts on it, it's really a fan that's in there. It can make some noise. It's a humming noise, but it's definitely noticeable in a quiet environment. You hear it. And for that reason, when we're out watching TV in our open kitchen and living room area, I don't like it in the kitchen. And so we go ahead and put it into a separate room here that's off of the kitchen so that we can so the noise doesn't bother anybody. And after a while, you kind of hear it in the background anyway. So those are the two things that are cons about it, are price and the fan noise that it can make when it's running. Now, if you leave it like I do, where it's running all day, all night long, remember that ice melts into the lower reservoir. And when that happens, there's a little reservoir down there at the bottom. When that happens, then you have to... and it recycles the water and it makes ice, then that motor is going to run. So it's going to run on and off all day for me. Okay, I told you about the LED light up here, but I didn't mention the one that's in the ice bin. This lights up the ice pretty nice, and you can even go into a dark room or a dark kitchen at night, and you can get your ice. It looks really good at night, so that's a good thing. Okay, I'm going to show you how to fill the tank. Now, this tank pops out, and what happens is you want to take this tank over to your sink, and you'll turn it upside down, and there's a cap on the top, and then you just fill it in your sink. And when you fill it, you put the cap back on, and you come back to your ice maker here, the storage pod, if you will, for the reservoir, and you just turn it back right side up, and you put it in there. That's all you have to do. There's no connections to make or anything. You just fill it with water and you put it back in there. Very easy. At the bottom is a drip pan. It's just a little piece of plastic, and that drip pan is used just for any water that might drip because you open the bin. And it's also a good place to put the scoop, I think, and we kind of leave the scoop on there. So it's a really good ice maker. I've been really happy with it. I think that my family likes it. They like it better than they thought they would. I know I like it a lot, and I think it's a really good thing to have. And of course, when guests come over, they're going to love it too. They're going to love the kind of ice you're serving. Now, I got this on Amazon. It ships with Prime, so you can have it in just a couple of 3 days, I guess. And like I say, the price is probably around $5.50. Now, if you can and you want one, it would be wonderful if you would help me out by clicking the link below that I provided. It takes you directly to Amazon and this ice maker, because it's the same price to you, but it helps me out. It helps me make these videos and get the equipment and stuff I need to do it. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it if you're going to get one. Like I say, it's no price difference to you. So go ahead, check this out, see what you like, see if you like it. You can read more about it and more details on all the specs if you want when you get to the Amazon site. But I think it's something you'll like, and it's something that's very, very easy to use. Check it out.